Thank you, Joe. Joe is my sister from the other mother. We've known each other for quite some time, and even though we are in two different continents, we still find a way to work closely together. Thank you, my colleague. It is indeed my privilege and honor to stand up here and deliver a presentation that bears testimony to our belief and claim that there are massive benefits that can be associated and derived in or from immersing people in wilderness areas. As I was preparing for this presentation, I came across the following extract, which is from the vision statement of the Wilderness Foundation. And I thought to myself that it does resonate very well and fits perfectly with our vision, as this collective of people, as well as the panel that is sitting in front of you. It goes as follows. We envisage a world that has sufficient intact natural ecosystems and wilderness areas that are valued and effectively protected for the benefit of all species. And I think that is such a profound message. And in that, we also include human beings, as another species on this planet. Within the scope of the Wilderness Foundation South Africa project, I'm going to speak mainly to the social intervention program. This is a program and an initiative that was developed in response to the many socio-economic tragedies, including HIV and AIDS pandemic, that face our continent, where the majority of young people are left vulnerable, stuck in the cycle of poverty, and find themselves falling, at risk of falling, within the cracks of society, with very little hope to make things happen for their lives. As both Joe and Vance mentioned yesterday when he was introducing Andrew Muir, my CEO, we as the Wilderness Foundation South Africa have pioneered various social projects with a very strong link to the wilderness. And these are all aimed to uplift the knowledge and lives of human beings that go through them. All these programs are there to empower young people to become successful contributors to society through personal growth and employment. And this does highlight that there is a link between wilderness and economic development as a social benefit. The other key objective of this program I'm talking about today is to develop conservation leaders with a strong conservation ethos. And I'm quite privileged to call upon my colleague. He spoke earlier on. This is one of our graduates. He's quite an amazing young man. His name is Lincoln Mayer. I hope he's somewhere in the audience. Can you just, stand up and raise your hand? We're very proud of Lincoln. He went through this program, as a graduate, as a student rather. And I'm very proud today to say that he is actually the person in the organization, one of the people, in fact, that take young people into these wilderness areas. So that is quite amazing, for us to begin to see the work that we do speaking for itself, to begin to see the transformation and the healing powers of nature working in much more practical ways as we have the benefit, of having young people within our midst, as an organization that are now delivering these programs that they have benefited from. This next slide is just a stock, the points that I thought speak so closely to the topic for today, which is on the social benefits of the wilderness. And I think there's so many other things we can highlight, and claim, in terms of the work that we've been doing for the past 7 years. But I just chose the few, for the sake of time, that I would like to highlight. One of them is the magic that we've seen in terms of the strength of the wilderness in harnessing and inspiring the wilderness potential, the leadership potential. Through this program, we continue to develop and groom future conservation leaders. And we have so many others. Lincoln stands for a few other young people that have also taken up this opportunity and are running with it. And the other point I also would like to make, and as derived from the feedback that we get from our graduates when we ask them to write about their experiences and express themselves after the trails that they attend. They will come and tell us that the wilderness, does act as a metaphor for life. The challenges that they encounter on trail, they regard them as symbolic to the hardships, the trials, the tribulations, and the triumphs of life, especially the physical aspect of the trail, where they must climb mountains, where they must hike, where they must cross rivers and valleys. That is something that is symbolic to the hardships that they themselves face in their lives. So it's quite an amazing thing again to have them being able to see the link between the wilderness, and life in general. And I think some of them have given us feedback, to the effect that they have become much more perseverant. They find themselves being much more able to commit to whatever they do, and they have a sense of teamwork and are resilient. These are all the skills they learned from going into these wilderness areas, and participating on trails. Personal growth and development is another aspect or area I would like to highlight, because when they go into these trails, they get an opportunity to reflect on themselves. They reflect on their dreams, their goals, and their futures. So it does develop them immensely. Education and awareness is another key area that we've also identified in terms of us having an opportunity with these young people to really begin to transfer the skills as well as the values and the principles that we aspire to as an organization. The principles like the no trace principles, where we teach them to have minimal impact to the environment. And I think one of the things I've heard them say, in terms of the lessons that they've had from engaging in nature and wilderness, is the whole issue that speaks to the fact that there can be harmony, and they've learned to coexist, with the wilderness. And again, I think that is a great thing, and it does tie in with what other speakers from yesterday and today have touched upon in terms of nature needing help and us human beings needing to find that space to accommodate nature. As part of the social benefits, I also have observed that through our programs, in South Africa, we've been able to inspire responsible social citizenship, and we've created social and conservation agents, so to speak, as some of our young people, and most of them, in fact, let me just say that, have found one way or other to get themselves actively involved in community upliftment projects. And most of them have really become ambassadors, like Lincoln, is a typical example of that. And they are active citizens and responsible citizens in our societies. And the following slide is an extract of the quotes I took from the journals. Every time they go on trail, they get a journal, a book on which they can just record their experiences and express themselves. And it's always so touching to have to go through those journals, because they just, open themselves up and speak about what the difference, that they feel from engaging in nature. And I'll just read a few of them, one or two, because I feel that my standing here giving this presentation will not do justice in terms of the social benefits if I can't bring onto this platform something that has come directly from the students. The first one goes this way. When I was a young girl, I did not value nature. I was destroying it. But with the help of UMZI, I have changed my negative attitude. It's been ages since I smelled fresh air. Where I come from, there is only pollution. This is, in terms of the context, young people that have barely interacted with nature by the time that they come to us. They have hardly ever gone out to enjoy the transformative and healing powers of nature. The second one, the way these walks have been designed it's pretty amazing, because each walk is different and has its own special way of connecting you to nature. At the same time, it gives you enough time to reflect back at your own life and reconnect with yourself. And ladies and gentlemen, that does bring me to the end, and I'd like to just extend my earnest gratitude to the Wilderness Foundation for enabling this opportunity for me to come and share this stage with very prominent leaders around the world. Thank you so much for the opportunity.